Welcome to another Bitcoin update. So in this video, I'm going to go through each wave of what I believe is happening in Bitcoin since the beginning. So I'll start with this candle down here that went basically to 0.01 cent, right? Now, we know Bitcoin started before 2010, but we don't have the data on this particular chart. But because the last wave went to 0.01 cent, I can definitely call that an E wave, especially because wave 3 started directly after that. So I don't really need to see that. Now here I can see wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Using RSI, I can basically go to the weekly to show you what I want to show you for a second. Right, okay, so wave 1 was wave 1, wave 3 was the strongest, and wave 5 the weakest in wave 3. So that's wave 3 right there. So why do I think wave 4 ended here? Now, I've explained to you in the previous video the US dollar versus Bitcoin video that basically all corrections go through this process called Arias wave, which is a 3-3-5-3-5 pattern. 3 wave moves are zigzags, 5 wave moves are waves C and E. Okay, so A, B, and D are zigzags, and waves C and E are always 5 wave moves. Okay, now I do teach this, but there are variations of these patterns, but I'm going to explain to you what these ones are here, just so we can understand why I'm calling this wave 4 right down to this point here in 2015 August. Okay, so if we go to the daily chart, okay, so if we just move across to this area, so A wave is the biggest wave, therefore the rest of the waves happen pretty quickly, right? Same as what happened in the US dollar chart there. If you have a look at that previous idea, I'll link it down below. So the first move is a 5 wave move. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 5 wave move right there. So that's A. And then B wave is always going to be that 3, 3, 5, 3, 5. So basically that starts here. You have a 3, right? Now that's A. So the B wave here is here, right? So you have the 5 wave move, 3, 3, 5, 3, 5. And then you have the C. So that's A, B, C. So A, B, C. So that's A, B, and then you have C, D, E right there. And then you have, so that's B, and then you have C. Okay, so that's a zigzag. Okay. So because A wave is the largest wave, the rest of the waves will be small. All right. So how do we determine that? So if you have a look here, this is a B wave, that's a zigzag. And then you have a 5 wave move. It's a clear 5 wave move there. And then D wave is a little bit more expanded. So you can see a 3 wave move there. A, B, C. And then you have E. So you can see quite clearly that E is a 5 wave move. So that's why I call that wave 4. Okay, and then I've displayed the rest of the waves here as such. Okay, so you have wave 1, 2. So you have 3, 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay, so the last wave can't be a zigzag. So a lot of the time you'll see C, D, E produce what looks like a zigzag, but if you look at the internals, It's actually just CDE, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a sharp wave 4. So that's alternation there. Wave 2 was drawn out sideways, and wave 4 was sharp, short and sharp. So basically, all of that pattern is in that one move. You'd have to go really deep to pull it apart. But that's the whole thing about alternation. Now, during impulsive moves, these waves get sharper compared to the more corrective portions, and when you're talking about larger corrective portions compared to within the impulsive moves, the corrective portions gets bigger, right? So that's why when we get to wave 5, we're starting to see a larger correction. So this pattern has a lot in common with what's happening here in with what's happening in wave 4. So the only thing that I find interesting in this case, though, is that the wave A and B, in fact, B is larger. Okay, so that can happen. And now, generally, when that does happen, you may see an expanding correction because it's part of a larger degree move, right? So all the previous corrections that you've seen before wave 5 up here, which is, you can say that this is wave 1, right? Let's just put wave 1 up here because we're overall bullish, don't forget. We're not exactly bearish, okay? So this is all fractal patterns. So whenever you get a wave A being the largest, the other waves will be smaller, right? But when you get this scenario where the B wave is larger than the A wave, typically what tends to happen, now this is definitely one of those things where you got to use, well, you can't really predict it, but because A wave is smaller than B, it's almost like, okay, this count could be right when we see A, B, C, D, E. That can definitely happen. I'm not saying it can't, but at the same time, nothing there to say that we can't see some kind of expanded correction, right? So something where we see a C wave down here, and then followed by a larger D wave like that, and then an E wave. There's nothing to say that can't happen, right? It doesn't mean that every time this sort of thing happens that we're going to go down back to the previous fourth wave. However, you should never discount that possibility because it can happen, right? But I know a lot of people are probably thinking, well, that's just crazy talk. So therefore, I understand that. So I'm giving you an opinion, right? This thing could be an expanding correction, which will end up with wave 2 being somewhere around the top. And this is generally what I see in corrections, the correction ending around that point where wave 1 ended, right? So I suppose what I'm trying to say is if a correction is drawn out sideways, it doesn't necessarily have to be a deep correction. So, but it does tend to be drawn out, right? So in the case of altcoins, we could see potentially altcoins move up in the future and sort of make up for lost time in terms of their patterns. And it goes back to that level playing field analogy that I used in the last video, where you see a lot of these heads of, crypto companies and SECs and IMF people talking about level playing field. It's basically, it's something that I find very interesting anyway. So, but in terms of where we are now, I do believe we're in a B wave, right? Because like I've said, I've explained to you the corrections and how they work out. And I have not seen anything like that yet happen completely in Bitcoin for it to signal that we're moving up from this point. Okay. So just a little bit of thinking, my opinion on this subject, right? To back up my thinking, not just the waves, because the waves definitely are the indication for me. Now I do think we have a little bit more of a move up, not much. We could go to 70 grand, fine, 75, whatever. Regardless of that, though, I think about things like, okay, so you look at Tesla. Tesla put in $1.5 billion into Bitcoin recently, right? But when you think about it, Tesla, or even Elon Musk, being what, second richest in the world at one point, or first, most richest, whatever it is, right? $1.5 billion to Elon Musk is not a lot of money, really, right? So to the normal person, it would appear that way, and the normal person would be more of a retail investor. So therefore, to me, I don't trust the media. I don't trust the news. So therefore, to me, all these people, they're all in on it. They're all in on this big game that's being played here, including who made Bitcoin for real. There's a lot of things going on that I don't trust, and I do believe that they also do tell you what's happening as well. So they don't just conceal what they're doing. They give you clues to what they're doing, but they also entice you in certain ways to trick you, I suppose. So MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, all those people, right? And basically brainwashed everybody into thinking that this could potentially just go from here to the moon. But the waves aren't telling me that that's going to happen straight away, right? Now, I just go back to the level playing field analogy, and I do believe that that's a big deal. I do believe that's a big deal. Let's just take a midway point from the wave 4 low along there and up to 2017 high. Okay. Now, let's just say potentially that this midway point is where we fall down towards, right? I'm meeting you in the middle here. I'm not saying it's going to go drop back down to the all-time high of 2017. I'm not saying it's going to go down to the bottom of wave 4 of the previous first wave. All right. So what do you say about that? Now, that would definitely level the playing field either way. And I think that during the process of this correction that's going on here, I do believe other coins will have a massive run up. Right? I just have a feeling, just by looking at the waves, that this thing is going to fizzle out at some point, whilst other altcoins who have real use case and real utility, people will do their due diligence by the time this happens, because they'll be forced to do it. Right? At the end of the day, we all know that Bitcoin is pretty clunky. So is Ethereum, for that matter. And there are a lot of other cryptos out there that are superior. So the level playing field phrase that I keep hearing, to me, it says that we're going to get like a reset in cryptos, and then those people who choose the right crypto are going to be the successful ones. Okay. So in terms of how far we are from the top here, I don't think we're that far. Now, if I'm not mistaken in my wave count here, right? Wave 4 ended down here, so we still have probably like the distance from this low to this high, from this low to probably around 70,000, right? That seems about the right distance for wave 5 to travel before it terminates. Okay. So although a lot of people may be thinking that they're right by listening to people like Michael Saylor and Elon Musk, I do believe that they are part of the elite. Correct me if I'm wrong. So whether or not you want to listen to those kind of people, that's up to you. But using the waves, using my logic, and using a lot of rhetoric that I'm hearing across a lot of very interesting YouTubers out there who like to talk about these things. In my own personal opinion, I'm saying that a lot of people are going to be disappointed very soon, and there will be a level playing field, and there will be an opportunity for everybody to decide which crypto is the winner and place their bets. And then after this whole scenario plays out, which could take, another year, right? Don't think that Bitcoin is going to blast off faster than those altcoins. Those altcoins have way better well, a lot of them, not all of them, have way better use case than Bitcoin, and they could also be a store of value. So I think that people have just bought into the hype of the first, the new kid on the block became the most popular kid on the block. But at the end of the day, you got to go back to basics, right? Once the bubble has popped and everybody's on the level playing field, Bitcoin can basically just serve as that coin that showed you the future. So if anything, I would be looking at Bitcoin as like kind of like a crystal ball rather than a store of value, because I think eventually all these coins will move up, including Bitcoin, but I don't think that the good coins will be left behind, and I don't think that Bitcoin will be on top and the most valuable. So whether you believe that or not, that is completely up to you. But I see some interesting things going on moving forward, and I think you should take these things into consideration, because with all the hype and the BS that's out there, you have to come back to that one simple truth that 99% of traders over the long run will lose. Basically lose. Okay. Now, I don't know how you want to take that. If you're a hodler since the beginning, well, it depends where you sell as to whether or not that's true or not. But if you're a hodler since the beginning, you're already up. Now, where you decide to sell, that's going to determine how much of a loser you are. But at the end of the day, if you think that there's going to be other coins that are going to go much higher than Bitcoin, you'd want to basically be getting involved in that, being invested, but also following me, because I'm gonna try and provide you with the type of understanding as to how high these things are actually going to go. And right now, I can tell you that there is no known method to know how far or how high any of these are going to go. But I'll be tracking them the whole way through. So using these tactics, using these methodologies. But for right now, I reckon we're not even done. Wave 2 of the entire crypto industry has not even created a wave 2 yet. So this thing is just getting started. So if you're not a part of it, or if you don't jump on board soon, especially when this move happens, you're going to miss out. So this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I suggest you do your own research. I just love doing this for fun. But I'm invested. So hopefully you found this video interesting and enjoyable. Thank you for watching.